So Fantano nailed.
He did it right?
He fucking nailed this Aphex Twin tier list. First of all, he put Richard D. James' album in the first place in S tier. I don't think that's controversial. That era is considered his most fruitful era in terms of like his commercial success. Even though he was never a commercial artist, it is still considered his peak in terms of his notoriety, i.e. Window Licker. Do you remember that music video?
No, I'm not a big Aphex Twin person.
Where it's like his creepy face on like a bunch of women's bodies. It's really creepy.
That sounds very unsettling.
It is. Look at his artwork.
Yeah.
But the most refreshing thing here, and Fantano brings this up, is that he puts Drooks in S tier, which it is. He talks about how at the time it got like a 5.5 from Pitchfork. I'll never forget this. Rolling Stone magazine gave it a 1-star rating.
What?
1 out of 5.
That's insane.
First of all, I Napstered it. I Napstered it because it got such bad reviews, actually. Like, I was like fascinated by poorly reviewed albums, including, by the way, Initiation by Todd Rundgren. Love that album.
Big TR fan.
Yeah. So I was like, what are they talking about? Why is everyone painting this record? This is sick. And I bought the double disc. It's like 2 hours long. It's not cohesive in the sense that like every track stylistically is different and the production approach is different. Some songs are acoustic. Some songs are like as electronic as it gets. Very breakbeaty and shit. Point is that it's a masterpiece, and I knew all along, and I was right, and they were wrong.
They were wrong.
And now finally
It's getting the roses.
it's getting the roses. Fantano probably feels more comfortable giving it S tier because it's already been given its roses on Rate Your Music now for a while. But the point is that your boy Shmoo always has loved Drooks and has always put it in S tier when Society was putting it in C and D and F tier. And I was like, I'm not buying this propaganda. I'm sticking to my guns. It's a masterpiece. It's his best album. And now I'm being proved to be true. Next up, we have in the A tier Selected Ambient Works Volume 2, 100% where I put this record. It is one of the best ambient records of all time. And considering it was put out in 1995, I think it's really, really ahead of its time. And I used to listen to it every night to go to sleep when I was like 15.
The sleepy time one.
Yeah. And then you got Come to Daddy at A, below Volume 2. Totally agree. Now, this is where it gets, his next spicy take, which I also have agreed with, have always agreed with, and still agree with. And I've always gotten pushback. Selected Ambient Works Volume 1 has always been considered the best Aphex Twin album. And I've always said, why? He made it when he was like 50, fucking 50. He was a teenager. These are like very crude, early,
like he hadn't peaked yet. He hadn't like came into his own yet. There.
Right. And it's great, but it's always been, I always have thought that it's been a little overrated. I think it's really good as a document. I think it still has shit on it that's timeless, but some of it is really stiff and like, it's just out of date. In the same way that when you listen to a Public Enemy album, production's great, but the rapping is just out of date. You can't get around that.
Yeah.
That it sounds a little corny. It's the same kind of thing. So I think putting that in B is totally what I've always thought. I think Zero is basically on the same level.
Is it the green circle
That's the
one?
green circle
That's
one.
the only one that looks familiar to me.
That's the newest one. And then I Care Because You Do in the C tier. I don't disagree with any of this. It's like, this is the most Fantano and I have ever agreed on music to this degree, where like I completely agree. And like I said, putting Drooks in S tier and Selected Ambient Works Volume 1 and B tier is contrarian until now. And I've been the boy on the scene underground having the right opinion.
Wow.
So anyway.